Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me for Bible Bits for Kids. My name is Samantha, and welcome to my Sacred Story space. Today we are going to share a story about a special saint, one of my favorites. Wait, what is a saint? Or who is a saint? A saint is someone who has led a great example of the love that we should have for God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and also of Mary. A saint is someone who has shown exceptional faith, hope, and love. And it's also someone who the church believes is now up in heaven with God the Father. Well, can you guess who the saint we are going to talk about today is? I'll give you 3 hints. The first hint is that his feast day is June the 13th. The second hint is that he wears brown clothes because he followed Saint Francis. And the third hint is that people pray to him when they have lost things. Ooh, do you know? That's right, it's Saint Anthony of Padua. He's one of my favorite saints. Do you know much about Saint Anthony of Padua? We're about to find out about him. Now before we begin, make sure you are sitting up nice and straight. Make sure there is nothing around us to distract us. And let's take in 2 deep breaths so that we can get ready for the story. Fantastic. I also like to do the sign of the cross before I share any of my stories. Let's do that all together. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Doing the sign of the cross helps me remember that God the Father, Jesus Christ the Son, and the Holy Spirit are always with me. Okay, let's start our story. I have my story mat ready to go. I'm going to put a few things on my story mat this week. I'm going to put a little book. I have some blue fabric to symbolize some water. And on the water I'm going to put a boat. I'm also going to put a small table. Saint Anthony of Padua. Saint Anthony was born with the name Fernando Martins. He was born in Portugal in 1195 to a wealthy family, but he chose to give up all that wealth to join the priesthood. At the age of 15, he travelled to the capital of Portugal to study to become a priest. After his ordination, he lived at an abbey and was responsible for taking care of visiting guests. Once, when some Franciscans were visiting, Fernando felt called to join their order. When he took the vows of this order, he changed his name to Anthony. He travelled to the country of Morocco to help spread the Catholic faith, but while there he became very sick. On his way back to Portugal by boat, a big storm blew his ship off course, and he ended up in Italy. One day, some Dominican friars arrived, and they couldn't decide who was going to give the homily at Mass, and they eventually chose Anthony. He wasn't usually chosen to preach during the Mass, and he was quite nervous, but his superior told him to say what the Holy Spirit wants him to. So Anthony gave his homily, and everyone loved it, and after this he became known as a great teacher. Saint Anthony is known to be the patron saint of lost things. Many people pray to Saint Anthony to help them find something when they have misplaced it. This is because of an event that happened while he was still alive. Saint Anthony had a special book that he used when he was preaching. One day it was stolen. Saint Anthony prayed very hard for it to be returned, And it was. This was considered a miracle, and people began to pray to St. Anthony after he died if they had lost something, and before long they would find them. All these small miracles are part of the reason why St. Anthony became a saint. Another miracle that St. Anthony performed was also happened while he was alive. One day, St. Anthony tried to preach to a bunch of people who did not believe in Jesus and were not interested in listening. When they would not listen, he went to the water and started preaching, and all the fish came to listen to him talk. The people soon saw all the fish listening to St. Anthony, so they decided that they should listen as well. St. Anthony is usually shown in his pictures holding a stem of lilies. This is to show his purity. He's also shown holding the baby Jesus because of his special love for Jesus. Wow, I really do love St. Anthony. He is the perfect example of someone who had faith, hope, and love. Have you prayed to St. Anthony before when you have lost something? I have, many times. Well, that is all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining me at Bible Bits for Kids. Mums and dads, please follow me on Instagram so that you can get updates of the weekly uploads and also some examples of activities that you could do with your little ones. I'd love for you to send me some photos of any crafts or activities that you have done about this week's story. So, I'll see you next time. God bless. Bye.